I'm Becky, the Support Services Specialist with Children's Service Society of Utah, here to answer your frequently asked questions. One question we address a lot, especially with hopeful adoptive parents, is why do families wait so long to adopt a baby? To answer this question, I'm going to share some adoption statistics with you. According to the research done by the NCFA, that's the National Council for Adoption, in 2014 there were 110,373 domestic adoptions in the U.S. This number is down by 17% from the last data that was collected in 2007. Unfortunately, there's no data yet for anything after 2014, but I can tell you that anecdotally, from our experience and what other adoption professionals in Utah have shared, adoptions in 2020 were far fewer due to COVID-19. The NCFA research also shows that only about 4% of all unplanned pregnancies result in adoption. Now, to break these numbers down further, 37% of those 110,000 adoptions were relative adoptions with either a step-parent or another relative of the child. 43% were children adopted through public agencies from foster care. And just 20%, around 22,000, were private adoptions, meaning completed through a private agency or through an attorney. And just around 18,000 of those private adoptions were infant adoptions. Now here's where the answer to our questions come into play. There is no exact number about how many families are waiting to adopt at any time, but experts estimate it's between 1 to 2 million. So if we divide a safe estimate of just 1 million families by about 69,000, which is the number of adoptions that weren't relative adoptions, it's clear why families wait so long. Just 7% of waiting families are going to adopt this year. Now, there's no disputing that there are fewer infants available for adoption today than there were several decades ago. What we don't often hear, however, is that the decline in adoption placements reflects a positive shift for women and their families. Increased access to contraceptives and family planning, and the social acceptance of unmarried or single parenting are all factors that have contributed to women having more pregnancy and parenting options. Now, with better support and resources, people who might have otherwise felt they had no choice but placing a child for adoption can parent their children, which is an advancement that should be celebrated. We understand, however, that this is very discouraging news to families who want to fulfill their desire to become parents through adoption. We feel strongly in educating families about the realities so that they can make informed decisions about pursuing adoption. Fortunately, adopting an infant is not the only option. There are so many children who've been removed from their homes because of abuse and neglect, and while not all of them are legally free for adoption, dedicated foster families are always in short supply. CSS always recommends fostering to families who would like to consider adopting children in state custody, as foster parents are often the first to be able to adopt when efforts to reunify the child with birth relatives fails. Fostering also gives families the experience that they will need in order to be considered as an adoptive placement for children who are legally free for adoption. And Children's Service Society is currently the only private agency allowed by the state of Utah to provide adoption home studies for children in state custody. We would be happy to talk to you more about this as an option to grow your family through adoption. Send us a message or give us a call. And leave us a comment if you have questions you'd like to see addressed here. Don't forget to follow Children's Service Society of Utah for answers to more frequently asked questions like this.